attention is your cell phone and electronic device are turned off.
All right.
You're not telling what police say.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Have something?
Your Honor, Jesse Dreiser on behalf of the defense. Mr. Fernandez is present, Mr. Hill is present, Ms. Day is present, and Ms. Nepstad is present. I do want to put, I'm not so sure it's an objection at this point, but I do think it's important for the record that I'd like just to make a comment or proffer what could be perceived as an objection at a later date. At this point in the trial, the court has heard that the state attempted to get the lead detective, Detective Johns, to testify that he believed that the firearm became completely disposed of sometime in February or March of 2022. That was what the attempted proffer and the attempted argument by the state was. The record is clear, as there was a court reporter present for all of that. And now the state is attempting to place an argument before the jury that the gun made its way to Texas and in 2023 was reported stolen, and a police report was admitted, and that this is a ruse, that the gun was never stolen, and it was some way to establish that the firearm is in fact in Texas and disposed of and connected to John Biggerstaff. Those are completely two different state theories. And I didn't have time to brief it during the lunch, but the case law is that the state cannot go on two completely separate theories of prosecution. And I believe that is what is being attempted. I don't think it's in any way even a gray area. I think the attempted proffer was that the lead detective believed one thing, and both things cannot be true. The firearm cannot go to Texas, the firearm cannot be reported stolen in Texas, and the lead detective is under the impression, and the state tried to elicit, that it had been indefinitely disposed of in March or February of 2021. And just because the court made a ruling on the proffered evidence, I don't believe it's a distinction with a difference. You can't lose an argument and then pivot and then create a new theory of prosecution. The prosecution has to be the same. What are you
citing for that proposition? I mean, I'll do some research now that you brought it to my attention, but
I'm citing what I know from previous litigation experience. I do not have a case. That's why I'm not saying it's a formal objection. I'm not asking for the court to take action. I believe the case law is that they cannot move forward two separate, and I will get some case law research.
So when you're saying two theories of prosecution, are you, okay. I am familiar with that, but what I hear you saying is basically two theories related to evidence. Is that also like two actual theories of how someone committed a crime, not necessarily two theories about how a piece of evidence that may be missing, is missing, was somehow, isn't there a distinction between that case law? I mean, I'm going to look it up again. It's been a really long time, but two different theories of prosecution, meaning how someone is, how they get to prove the elements of the crime, as opposed to prosecution theories related to evidence. Does that, I
understand exactly what you're saying. I don't think there's a difference.
Okay.
And I think that in a solicitation to commit first-degree murder and in a principle to commit first-degree murder, I don't see a distinction of the evidence in this case is that Mr. Fernandez somehow became in possession of a 10-millimeter firearm, in which was used and given to Henry Tenon in order to commit the murder of Jared Bridegan. I do think that is what they're establishing to attempt to establish the elements of this crime.
Okay. So what you're saying now, though, is pre-crime. And what I heard you say before, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that's post-crime. Pre-crime, I think, it's been a long time. I will look it up. But pre-crime, I think that you're right, like the way that they get to prove it. But post-crime, meaning disposal of evidence, I mean, it's often things or are argued to juries, we don't know, whatever. I've heard those arguments a million times.
I agree with that. If their argument was, we never found the firearm, we don't know where the firearm went, but that's not what I believe that the record reflects at this moment in time. I think the record reflects this moment in time that the theory of the government is that in one theory, A, Detective Johns, the lead detective, was attempted to say that it was disposed of indefinitely in 2021, February, March. B, the gun made its way to Texas, and in a false police report, it was the serial number of that firearm was written down in a police report and reported stolen.
Okay.
Both of those things cannot be true.
Okay. Has the state looked into this at all?
We have no response at this time, Your Honor. There's no reason to even discuss this at this point.
Okay.
We have not alleged any arguments. They have no idea what we're going to argue. We are presenting evidence to this jury. Two things can be true at the same time. This is a non-issue for us to bring up when he wants to entertain an objection. I think we need to get started with this jury. Thank you.
Okay. Is it an objection, or you're just bringing it to my attention?
I'm bringing it to the court's attention that at this point I believe that it started and that Mr. Mizrahi is right that right now I have not lodged a formal objection, so we don't need to take this up in further argument. I wanted just the record to reflect where I thought the evidence was at this point.
Okay. All right, let's bring in the jury. What, I'm sorry? Okay, well, we need just a moment for, can you come up and help?
It's not mine.
It's not?
No, it's not mine.
I'm going to step back just momentarily. I'll be right back. Mr. Mizrahi, I learned how to do mine. I'm self-sufficient.
I did too, Your Honor.
I know how to do mine. I know how to do mine. All right, ready?
Sure, is it in the courtroom, Your Honor?
Thank you. Welcome back in, members of the jury. Everyone may be seated. Members of the jury, thank you again for your patience. I apologize for the delay. I hope that you all enjoyed your lunch. Yes, okay, good. Just to make sure everyone followed the communication rules, even though you had your device, is that correct? Yes. Okay, great. Let's get the witness back on the witness stand. All right, agent, good afternoon. You can just retake the witness stand. You're still under oath. Okay, Mr. Hill,
Thank you,
cross-examination.
Good afternoon, Agent.
Good afternoon, sir.
How are you today?
Doing well, yourself?
I'm doing well. I want to run back through some of the direct examination you provided to the state. Primarily, it started with the discovery of the truck at the residence of Jimmy Jones. And I'm going to just show you what's previously been entered as defense 56A. Is that published on your screen, sir?
Yes, sir, I can see it.
Now, when you were looking for this truck, you said that was a big part of what your duties were. You guys were all actively looking for this truck. Is that correct? Did I understand you correctly?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And this included, from my understanding, people were flying in helicopters looking for this truck. Is that your understanding?
I'm not aware of the helicopters.
You and Agent Simmons were actively looking for this vehicle. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you're located in the backyard of Mr. Jones's house, but if I understood your testimony on direct examination, you used location data from Henry Tenon's device. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I want to make sure we're clear on this. This was not that it was reported, like someone called 911 to your knowledge, or Crime Stoppers.
We reviewed Google location data. Yes, sir.
Not information provided by Jimmy Jones, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And from your understanding, at this part of the investigation, the truck had been published to the media sometime around March of 2022. Is that your understanding?
I would say around that time frame. Yes, sir.
And it has been blasted on local media and social media.
Yes, sir.
And you and your fellow law enforcement partners, everyone was in essence on the lookout for this vehicle.
Yes, sir.
Fair to say it was the most sought after vehicle in Northeast Florida during that time period.
I don't know of any other one, so I would agree that it was very, we were looking for it. Yes.
Absolutely. And as you said, Ms. Stifler asked you how you got into law enforcement. And I believe your testimony was this was a passion of yours. You wanted to help the community. Is that accurate?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you seem like the kind of guy that's exactly what you would do. Okay. You're not going to let a criminal get away with something if you can investigate it and bring it to a courtroom. Would that be a fair statement?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So on October 14th, you find this vehicle. Is this exactly how you found it in defense exhibit that's published on your screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Literally, you drove by with that location data and you could see it directly from the street.
On the street. Yes, sir.
And when you learned that Jimmy Jones was the resident there, is it your understanding that Mario Fernandez has no connection to that property?
I have no knowledge of him having any connection to that property. Yes, sir.
And certainly during that time period, you would be communicating with other law enforcement partners involved in the investigation.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that'd be a fair statement that if it was connected to Mario Fernandez, you would have had that knowledge.
I would believe so, yes.
Because you were aware that the Potomac property was a rental property of Mr. Fernandez.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You had been to that other property before, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, once you enter this property, okay, my understanding is that Mr. Jones was absolutely cooperative.
He was cooperative. Yes, sir.
Spoke to you with no problem.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Offered for you and your fellow law enforcement officers to come into the backyard, take a look at the truck, and retrieve it.
He gave us consent to look in the truck, or to look in his backyard, yes, sir.
Certainly. And what, in law enforcement, you guys would call that the curtilage, right? As far as the backyard, the outside of the residence.
I would say the curtilage is more of the edge of the property, not necessarily like the backyard. So maybe like the property line, the areas along the sidewalk, that's more curtilage. But the backyard, I wouldn't consider that curtilage.
Well, once he gave you that consent, okay, you could walk around that backyard as much as you wanted, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And certainly if you wanted to take a look in the trash can and the recycling bin on the side of the house, you could have done that with the consent of Mr. Jones.
If I had his consent, yes, sir.
Okay, and you did have his consent to go in the backyard, and he actually offered you consent to search his home.
A comment was made to it, but that if I wanted to go in his house, I could.
Absolutely. Any reason to think he wouldn't have let you search the entire backyard had you chosen to do that?
I don't think there's any reason to think he wouldn't have.
Okay. Now, at this point, you had learned that Mr. Jones was a family friend of Mr. Tenon, correct?
After recovering the truck, or locating the truck, I should
And
say.
you were there at the property.
That's when I learned he was a family, they've known each other for a while. Yes, sir.
And you learned that Mr. Jones was not a mechanic.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that vehicle wasn't pushed in that backyard because it was going to receive any type of repair work.
Yes, sir.
And I want to make sure the jury's clear. Mr. Jones is not like a work-from-home mechanic.
He is not, no, sir.
Okay. And that truck was not pushed into that backyard because it was anticipated that Mr. Jones was going to do any type of repair on that truck.
Correct.
As far as you understood, that truck was pushed in that backyard by Henry Tenon with the intent of it being stored in that backyard for however long.
Mr. Jones gave a statement multiple times of how long he was okay with having it there, based on the fact that other people had done that and he'd been through it before, and he didn't want it left there.
Months, though. Could be there for months, is your understanding.
Yes, sir.
And it had been there for several months, is your understanding.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you only located it because of the data from Henry Tenon's phone after his arrest.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, once you received consent to go in this backyard, okay, would you agree that locating this truck was a major break in this investigation?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Aside from the driving while license suspended arrest of Henry Tenon, which we all understood was to further the homicide investigation. Is that your understanding?
It was part of it, yes, sir.
But now the truck, which had been blasted in the media since March of 2022, has now been located in October. That is the next huge break in this case. Would you agree with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. But at this time, and even to this day, no murder weapon had been recovered.
Correct, sir.
Okay. And you work for alcohol, tobacco, firearms, and explosives.
Yes, sir.
Okay, ATF. And it goes without saying that part of your job is involved in investigating firearms, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Not only here in state court, but across the street at the federal courthouse
Yes, sir.
with the U.S. Attorney's Office. And as Ms. Stifler said, you work for the Department of Justice.
Yes, ma'am. Or, sir, pardon.
Take orders basically from the President of the United States.
There's a chain of command, sir.
Absolutely. Okay. But you investigate firearms and you try to make sure they're not in the hands of people that should not have them.
Yes, sir.
Okay, including convicted felons.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now you've located this truck. Huge missing piece of the puzzle, but yet the murder weapon is still missing. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure in your training, your experience, I believe you said you've been an ATF agent for approximately 18 years at this point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You certainly had other law enforcement officers show up on the scene that afternoon, correct?
Yes, sir.
Even Mr. Jones commented, how many cops were there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Jacksonville Sheriff's Office,
Yes, sir.
Jacksonville Beach,
Yes, sir.
ATF.
Yes, sir.
Am I missing any other agencies that were
I
there?
believe that was all, sir.
Okay. Safe to say it was dozens of officers.
Not dozens, no, sir.
A lot.
I'd say approximate 10.
Okay. But enough people that if you wanted to, you certainly could go in that backyard and look in the bushes to see if a firearm has been thrown in the bushes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You could have looked in the trash cans and in the recycling bin if you chose to.
If we yes, sir, we had that opportunity.
And I have not been to this particular property, but by looking at the picture, it looks like it may even have a crawl space underneath the house. But if there is a crawl space, certainly with the consent of Mr. Jones, you or fellow officers could look underneath the house to see if there's a firearm.
Yes, sir.
Okay? You guys could bring out metal detectors and search the property to see if a firearm has been buried somewhere in this backyard.
That is an option, sir. Yes.
Certainly. Something that happens, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, in your long experience as a law enforcement officer, certainly there's 3 ways you can search a property, right? You can do it by consent.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You can do it based upon a search warrant, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what you did receive in this particular case, to retrieve the truck,
Yes,
a
sir.
search warrant. Even though you had consent, you guys took that extra step.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then you also have exigent circumstances, meaning if you're afraid that there could be destruction of evidence, you can also enter a property and search.
Yes, sir.
Okay. But in this case, you didn't need to exercise exigent circumstances or get a warrant. Okay. You could go back because Mr. Jones gave consent.
He gave consent for his backyard. Yes, sir.
And they even have dogs that are trained to search for firearms and other contraband, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I'm assuming you working for the federal government, you certainly have access to so many different resources if you believe they're necessary and you want to utilize them. Is that a fair statement?
We have access to resources. Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Okay. But in this particular case, for whatever reason, chose not to exercise any of those resources or the consent of Mr. Jones in order to search inside of that property, correct?
At that point in time, we were concerned with securing the truck. We had consent. I know that a warrant was being drafted. I didn't know the status of the warrant at that time. So when I was talking with Mr. Jones, again, I mentioned earlier I was building rapport, talking with him, and wanted to make sure that he understood that, we were focused on the truck. This was the first time that Mr. Jones had come up in the investigation, and, based on the fact that he was speaking with us, his answers were consistent, and the fact that there was no attempt to hide the truck, that it was clearly visible from the street, we use those facts to kind of figure out where, or to maybe take where Mr. Jones was in this.
Sure. In 18 years of law enforcement experience, it's not uncommon for someone who is hiding something to be overly cooperative with law enforcement. You've encountered that before.
Not very often, sir.
But it does happen.
I haven't been so fortunate, but
But you certainly, it's not a unique circumstance where someone is so cooperative, they say, please, you can search my vehicle. They end up searching the vehicle and they find a kilo of cocaine, or they find guns or a body.
yes, that happens, sir, yes.
So just because somebody is cooperative doesn't necessarily mean that you're not going to find something that would be fruitful for your investigation.
That's correct, sir.
And you would agree, we have no idea what could have been found in that property.
Yes, sir.
Are you aware that just a few weeks ago on July 30th, FDLE produced a report doing ballistics testings that had Jimmy Jones' name listed on the report?
Okay, wait. Let me see you at sidebar. You may proceed.
Agent, my question was, I understand at the time you said that Mr. Jones's name had not come up in your investigation. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you aware that just a couple weeks ago, Mr. Jones's name has been brought up in the investigation?
I was not aware of that, no, sir.
Based upon his name not coming up at the time, my understanding, you did not take a DNA swab from Mr. Jones. Is that correct?
That's correct, sir.
You didn't do any additional testing there at the property other than recovering the truck. Is that correct?
Correct, sir.
And I understand we belabored the point for quite a few minutes. There was no additional searching of the property. Is that correct?
Correct, sir.
Now, I understand the state asked you about the 10 millimeter firearm. And I believe your testimony is that you either had only encountered it once in your career And that you testified, I believe, that you believed it was a rare firearm. Is that correct?
I believe I testified that I have not come across one outside of this investigation.
But for the last 2 years, you've been a firearms instructor up in Brunswick, Georgia. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you aware that in this particular case, it's been alleged that a Glock 10 millimeter was the homicide weapon?
I'm aware of that, yes, sir.
Are you aware that Glock has been producing 3 models of a 10 millimeter as far back as 1991?
I understand that Glock makes a 10 millimeter pistol. I am not versed in the history of the Glock 10 millimeter pistol.
Are you aware they make 3 different models of that?
At this moment, yes, sir.
Okay. And you understand Glock to be a well-known firearms maker?
Yes, sir.
They produce lots of firearms.
Yes, sir.
No dispute, they're probably one of the most popular firearms manufacturers in the United States.
Yes, sir.
Law enforcement carries Glocks, many occasions.
Typically a 9 millimeter, maybe a 40. Yes, sir.
The 10 millimeters are also produced.
They are produced.
Sure. So you would agree it's not necessarily the rarest firearm out there?
I believe I said it's not very common. I didn't specify to the rarity of it. I just said in my own personal experience,
Sure.
This is the first time I've come across one.
The state asked you about your interview Were you aware that during the investigation, law enforcement went to Beach's pawn shop on 3rd Street in Jacksonville Beach to look for 10 millimeters?
I believe they canvassed different gun stores. Yes, sir.
Are you aware that at just one gun store, they located 6 purchases of a 10 millimeter?
Sir, I think if you were to put that in perspective of all the guns sold in a gun store, I don't think it's that significant.
How many gun stores do you think are in Jacksonville?
I couldn't tell you, sir.
Would you agree there's more than one?
I would agree. Yes, sir.
So to have 6 at one, that's not necessarily insignificant.
Again, you're talking about a numbers game where you had to put that in relation of all the other guns sold.
Sure. We'll let the jury make that determination. Now, Mr. Agent Stengel, you testified that you interviewed John Biggerstaff. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Part of that investigation was based upon the fact that at one time he owned a Glock 10 millimeter. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Your understanding that he became a convicted felon in 2017?
About that time, yes, sir.
Okay. And you at the time were not a firearms instructor. You were an active agent for the ATF. Is that correct?
In 2017?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you understand the federal system. You've worked in the federal court before?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Have you been a case agent before?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you understand that when a person is arrested or indicted and they have to participate in pretrial release, as Mr. Biggerstaff did, he had to turn over his firearms.
Yes, sir.
And I believe the state showed you a firearm inventory list. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, may I approach the evidence?
Yes.
And Agent, the state showed you what has been marked as Exhibit 190. Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
Yes, you may.
Can you recognize that inventory list, do you, sir?
Yes, sir.
Now, I know that's handwritten, but your understanding is that would be provided to pretrial release?
I believe it's pretrial services. Yes, sir.
And ultimately, the state kind of alluded like nobody goes to the house and searches to make sure they've turned over those firearms. Is that your understanding?
That is my understanding.
But if a federal magistrate judge orders you to turn over your firearms, you would expect they would follow that order.
I would expect. Yes, sir.
There's consequences if you do not.
Yes, sir.
What would be a consequence to your knowledge if you violate the terms of your pretrial release?
You would be incarcerated.
Until such time as your case is ultimately resolved.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Biggerstaff, to your knowledge, he was never incarcerated after being released on pretrial release, was he?
I thought he did serve some time.
But he didn't violate his pretrial release, did he?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. And this inventory that was produced, if you can do your best, I know it's handwritten, but if you can see if you can find the Glock 10 millimeter on that list and identify by what number is associated with it.
Looks like it'd be item number 7, Glock. 40, which would be the model. I honestly can't make out looks like 4 characters next to it, but it looks like the serial number is BBGL, possibly 770.
Okay. And if you can, read for the jury what is number 6.
Glock 27. Looks like there's a 40 next to it, and it looks like the serial number maybe RBP38 and possibly a 6.
Okay. Would you agree that number 6 and number 7 are written right on top of each other?
Yes, sir.
And in fact, the serial number for number 6 and number 7 are almost right on top of each other.
They're on adjacent lines, yes, sir.
But pretty close.
Pretty close, yes, sir.
Now, Agent, it was asked on direct examination. 1 second here. Agent, my law partner corrected me. Mr. Biggerstaff, from my understanding, did violate pretrial release, but it was by way of a drug charge. Are you familiar with that?
Now you mention it, yes, sir.
Not a firearms possession charge, is that correct?
That's correct, sir.
I'm showing you that same affidavit. Can you see that on your screen, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You said it was number 7 that you identified as the 10 millimeter.
Yes, sir.
And number 6 was a Glock 27.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm going to come back to that in just a moment. But it's understood that Mr. Biggerstaff owned a 10 millimeter in 2016, got in trouble with federal authorities, had to turn those firearms over to someone outside of his home.
Yes, sir.
That's how we got this inventory, correct?
Yes, sir.
Your understanding is those went into the possession of other Biggerstaff family members.
I believe we were told that Juan Biggerstaff took the guns.
Now, if John Biggerstaff had come back into possession of those firearms, he would be violating both state and federal law, correct?
Yes, sir.
And certainly if he was caught, if he was prosecuted in state court, your understanding is that's a 3-year mandatory prison sentence. Is that your understanding?
I'm sorry, I'm not overly versed on the sentencing for Florida law.
Okay. Certainly could go to prison in federal court as well.
Yes, sir.
No dispute that had he been caught with a firearm, he could be prosecuted in both state court and federal court.
State or federal.
I'm sorry?
State or federal.
State or federal, yes, sir. Okay. To your knowledge, he's never been arrested for a firearms possession charge since his original felony offense in 2016.
Correct, sir.
And to arrest an individual, what do you need as far as level of proof? Just to make an arrest.
Probable cause.
And you would agree that's a much lower standard than having someone convicted in a court of law.
Yes, sir.
You just basically have to have a little more based upon the totality of circumstances in order to arrest him.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
Yes, sir. In order to arrest Mr. Biggerstaff, you would just need probable cause that he was in possession of a firearm.
I would have the probable cause, yes, sir.
And at this time, he's never been arrested to your knowledge for possession of a firearm.
To my knowledge, no, sir.
The state asked you that when you went to his residence, whether or not you saw any evidence of, I think, gun possession. You testified to this gun cabinet on the back porch.
Yes, sir.
And you basically said it was kind of a beat up, wouldn't even close anymore.
That's my remembering of it, yes, sir.
Had garden tools in the back of it.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Certainly just repurposed is what it appeared.
Yes, sir.
Okay. He didn't get arrested for that, did he?
No, sir.
Because that's not considered a firearm component, ammunition, or a firearm.
Correct.
Okay. So he could have that. There's nothing wrong with that.
Correct, sir.
Where it came from, you have no idea.
I believe he's had it. Correct.
Whether or not it was returned to him empty and just placed on his back porch, you have no evidence, say one way or another.
Correct.
Okay. Certainly has no relation to Mario Fernandez.
Not to my knowledge. In reference to the gun cabinet, right?
Yes, sir.
No.
And with regards to Mr. Biggerstaff, John, your understanding is that he testified, or it was provided, he's not given a firearm to Mario Fernandez.
I'm not aware of Mr. Biggerstaff's testimony, sir.
You aware that he was offered immunity?
I believe so.
Okay. Can you explain to the court what immunity means from your understanding as a law enforcement officer?
That if he had committed a crime, he wouldn't be held criminally responsible for it.
That he would not be held criminally responsible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in this particular case, Mario Fernandez is being prosecuted for first-degree murder, correct?
Yes, sir.
A capital offense.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Biggerstaff, if he was involved in that, could either be charged as a principal or as an accessory, correct?
Could be. Yes, sir.
And he's been offered immunity, meaning that if he had been involved in that case at all, had he provided a firearm to Mr. Fernandez, he would be immune from prosecution.
Yes, sir.
Meaning that he could tell Ms. Stifler and Mr. Mizrahi, yes, I gave a gun to him, and he would be held completely, he'd be okay. He wouldn't be prosecuted.
Depending on the terms of the immunity, yes, sir.
As long as he told the truth.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Your understanding is he did not accept that immunity.
That's my understanding, yes, sir.
To your knowledge, he has not implicated Mr. Fernandez.
No, he has not.
You further interviewed John Biggerstaff, correct?
Correct.
And he was a law enforcement officer in Texas?
Yes.
Did he provide any information that furthered your investigation into Mario Fernandez?
No, sir.
He also was offered immunity. Is that your understanding?
I believe so.
And again, same as his father, had he had any involvement in a first-degree murder, he would be immune from prosecution if he cooperated with law enforcement.
Yes, sir.
But ultimately, the jury will decide his credibility, both of these gentlemen. But your understanding, they provided no information that would further the prosecution of Mr. Fernandez.
I believe we received just more conflicting statements.
And the jury, ultimately, you would agree, will decide whether or not they're credible or not.
That is up to them, yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Biggerstaff, Juan, was a law enforcement officer in Texas at the time of that interview?
You said Juan?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And I believe the state elicited that in June of 2023, let me back up. When you interviewed Juan Biggerstaff at the state attorney's office, he agreed to wear a wire. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
A recording device, yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So not really what I'm wearing, but a concealed recording device.
Yes, sir.
Okay. He actually had two of those on him. Is
Yes,
that your
sir.
understanding?
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, he was an undercover narcotics officer in Texas.
I believe he was a narcotics detective. His capacity, I'm not aware of.
He was an experienced law enforcement officer.
Yes, sir.
And he agreed to cooperate with his fellow law enforcement partners here in Jacksonville.
He was resistant
To wear a wire against his father,
to cooperate.
but he did cooperate.
He was here, sir.
Well, let's be clear. He came to the state attorney's office, correct?
Yes, sir.
You and the state attorney's office and fellow law enforcement asked him to wear two recording devices and to go speak with his father in furtherance of the search of a 10 millimeter, correct?
Yes, sir.
And ultimately, he did agree to do that.
He did do that.
He may have been resistant to wear a wire and go speak to his own father, but he ultimately agreed to do it.
He agreed to do it. Yes, sir.
You made sure that he didn't have an opportunity to contact his father prior to leaving the state attorney's office with those recording devices, correct?
I believe precautions were taken.
As to whether or not, as the state tried to elicit on direct, that he somehow gave any type of indication to his father, you don't have any direct evidence that he tipped off his father.
Not directly, sir.
Okay? You weren't there, correct?
I was not there.
You just got to listen to the recording when he brought it back.
Yes, sir.
Okay? And he did record.
Yes.
Whether or not the devices captured everything or not, whether you can blame that on Juan Biggerstaff, you don't have any evidence to support that. You would agree with that.
I just have the end result. Yes, sir.
But ultimately didn't gather any information that was related to Mario Fernandez.
Just that the guns were supposed to show up on, well,
Well,
I'm sorry.
no, my question specifically, no. The state can't just tell you what to say by shaking
No,
your head.
I apologize. I started to say something. I'm sorry, sir. Ma'am.
Let me have the jury step out. All right, agent, everyone may be seated. Agent, let me have you step out into the anteroom, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, please let the record reflect that the agent's off the witness stand. Mr. Hill, you started to address something. I'm going to give you the proper venue, not in front of the witness, not in front of the jury.
Yes, Your Honor. The witness went to start answering a question and stopped himself. I observed the state attorney's office shaking their head, giving acknowledgement to the witness in front of the jury to answer a question in a particular way. Entirely improper. They cannot direct a witness on what to say. And that's exactly what they were doing. There's video cameras throughout the courtroom. Your Honor can watch a replay yourself. That was the indication I got. The witness was smart enough to stop, and I can hear Mr. Mizrahi speaking, and I would ask for you not to interrupt.
Okay.
I would ask for the defense counsel to address the court and not me.
I want you both to address me, okay? And then I'll let the state respond. Was there head shaking? I was reading something, so I didn't see anything.
Yes, we're sitting here looking at each other, shaking our heads. Mr. Hill is asking a line of question that opens up the doors to a lot of answers. And the witness is looking at everybody, myself and Mr. Hill and Mr. Mizrahi, asking if he can answer. I'm gesticulating to draw his attention to the court. The court is the only one who can answer whether a witness can answer a question or not. I don't think Mr. Hill can ask a question not like the answer that's being given and cut him off. But, I mean, this whole line of questioning it's opening up the door.
What do you believe it's implicating?
I think that if he's asking him questions about, he's opening the door to what was said on this wire. He's asking, can I?
Okay, so that's what I'm asking. I'm also, I don't know what the evidence is. And so was he instructed not to go down a certain line or say something?
In pretrials, I like all witnesses advise them as to the rules of evidence, including hearsay. And Your Honor's already seen this witness once on his own bring up. I don't want to get into hearsay. I think he's unsure of how to answer. If I am asking him questions, of course I can say, of course you can answer. But if Mr. Hill asks him a question and he's responsively answering the question, he can continue to answer. And he's stopping himself because he's looking back at Mr. Hill and looking at us, and I don't know if you want to instruct him that he needs to draw his attention to the court and ask the court whether he can answer or not, but.
So, okay, let me address that one point in particular. I need a heads up. I don't know, he's just a name on a list for me. I don't know what his involvement is or what he's reviewed. If there is an instruction saying, hey, you cannot get into this line because if there's something sensitive or he's walking a fine line, I kind of need to know, because generally speaking, what the process would be is I would tell the witness, look at me, ask for a break or whatever, and then we can address some issue that wouldn't cause a potential mistrial. And so, Mr. Hill, with that explanation, do you believe that was what's going on, or you think that it was delivery of an answer? I don't know what's been presented to the jury as he shows up and there's an F-150 there and he didn't search but now the cross-examination is getting into investigative techniques. And I don't know his level of involvement. Is that a fair assessment of what's going on? Or are you still maintaining that somehow they're trying to signal him? Because then I'm going to ask the witness.
So, Your Honor, if you recall from the direct examination, he went into his discussion of when John Biggerstaff wore a wire to go and meet with his father.
Yes.
My line of question, and I believe my question was, you did not gather any information related to Mario Fernandez. Not what was said on the wire. It was simply you didn't gather any information. It was similar to my previous questions about the property, about the truck. That you gathered no information related to Mario Fernandez. The witness started to testify. He did stop himself. That's when I saw the state attorney's office seemingly acknowledging to him that he could continue his answer. And as they stated, that they believed I had opened the door to discuss the contents of the wire, which is absolutely not what the question was. It was, did you gather information related to Mario Fernandez?
Okay. From your response, Mr. Hill, are you saying that there could have been some, like he's looking to say, is this okay from the state? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not going to go as far as to say that the state attorney's office was seeking to put words in his mouth.
Right, but you're seeking his approval whether to go forward or not.
What I observed was him, which he's done several times, even in his direct examination, where he was seeking for what to say, either internally or externally.
Okay,
I simply observed the state attorney's office nodding their head affirmatively. Whether they're doing it to each other, all I can say is that I have 16 people sitting in this box and a witness up here, and they're right beside the jurors. That's why I wanted to make sure that that was shut down.
all right. Okay, we're going to stop. I think that I'm going to chalk this up to a miscommunication. I'm going to bring the agent back in. He has been a very careful witness, and I've said it multiple times. Like he appears to be having some type of internal communication with himself, like trying to follow rules or whatever. So I'm gonna let him. Agent, if you'll come all the way forward. All right, if you could just pause right there for a moment. I've said this about you. You seem to be very conscientious and very, like, being very careful with your wording. Is that a fair assessment? Sure, it's a habit, it's okay. So, okay, all right, yes, this one. I'm going to ask this based on what's happened during the trial. Do you feel like you've mentioned, let me say this, you've mentioned the word hearsay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, are you trying to avoid that some way in your testimony? Obviously, you might be.
Yes, I'm trying to not state anything that I was told during the investigation because I understood that I'm not allowed to do that.
Okay, so, which is very, like I said, you're very conscientious, all right? But what's happening is that, and what I need you to do, and it's fine, and I appreciate your careful, observant of the rules, but if you have a situation where you believe that whatever the question is would call for you to do something that in your mind would be impermissible. I don't know what you discussed and what you didn't discuss. All you have to do is turn to me and say, Your Honor, may I? Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And then I can make a ruling. And then I think everything will stay kind of in bounds. And then the lawyers, if I have a question, I'll bring them up to sidebar and I will hear from them. But I don't want you to feel like you can't seek court intervention if you believe that whatever you're going to say. A lot of times this happens with detectives, hypothetically, where they might think that they comment on a constitutional right or they comment and they're apprehensive and they know the implications of blurting something out, which I appreciate, okay? But if your honest answer to their focused question is something that you believe through your training and your experience being, a federal agent, if you think that is going to cause some concern for you, you can seek my approval. So you need to avoid kind of looking to the state for approval because they don't say yay or nay about anything that goes on in court about what comes in and what doesn't. They have to ask me. So I'm the ultimate decision maker in that process. And then it gives the defense an opportunity to be heard if they want to be heard related to whether it should come in and come out. But if it's a unilateral glance and then you continue because they say so, it creates an issue. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So I'm not getting on you, but I just wanted to let you know I am an avenue that if you don't have to be so careful and reflective, if your natural answer is X and you believe it caused a problem, you can say, Your Honor, may I? And then that's a perfect way for me to intervene appropriately. So would any side like to say anything to the agent before we continue?
Nothing.
As far as his testimony related to that issue?
No, Your Honor, I believe the court instructed him appropriately.
Okay, so again, me and you, we're on the same line.
Yes, ma'am.
You look at me, say, may I? I'll look at them, and then we'll handle it from there. So don't feel so apprehensive. Just, we can keep going, but I want you to know I am a resource for you if there is an issue with your testimony. I know I'm learning a lot. I have limited information about the case prior to trial. I'm learning the full scope of whatever you've done kind of real time with the jury. Okay, so it's not like I have some kind of working knowledge of what you did and didn't do, and I don't know what you're trying to stay away from and what you're not. I learn it from the lawyers, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. All right, so we can get back started.
Yes, sir.
Do you know what your question was, Mr. Hill?
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
You remember your last question?
I believe my last question was,
I just wanted to make sure you didn't need to get back where you were. You know where you were?
I do, yes, Your Honor.
Jury is in the courtroom, Your Honor.
Thank you. Right. Welcome back, members of the jury. Everyone may be seated. All right, Mr. Hill, you may continue.
Thank you, Your Honor. Agent, where we left off was that John Biggerstaff had worn a wire in communications with his father. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And when he returned either to the state attorney's office or to where did he actually return after that recording session?
I think we met with him out in public.
After you had an opportunity to reconvene, did your investigative efforts provide anything specific to Mario Fernandez?
Not that I recall.
The state asked you about Juan Biggerstaff and a June 2023 police report that was filed. Do you recall that?
June 2023, yes, sir.
And that was in regards to Juan Biggerstaff's undercover police vehicle being stolen from his home?
I believe it was his police vehicle, yes, sir.
And that it was reported that several firearms were stolen out of that vehicle?
I believe it was 2, sir.
Okay. And one of those was a Glock 27?
Yes, sir.
But it bared the serial number on what was on the report of the Glock 40, the 10 millimeter.
Yes, sir.
Now you're looking at that inventory that I showed you earlier that was produced after Mr. Biggerstaff was federally indicted?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I asked you to identify where the Glock 40, the 10 millimeter was, and that was number 7, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And number 6, what is that?
That is the Glock 27.
Okay. And that's what you understood was reported stolen, correct?
The Glock 27, yes.
And you would agree that the serial number for the Glock 27 and the Glock 10 millimeter are right on top of each other?
Well, real quick, just to clarify, you have a Glock 27 that was reported stolen. If you're saying that that's the same one in this inventory without the serial number, I can't discern that.
And I'm not asking you to make that determination.
Okay.
You've confirmed that a Glock 27 was reported stolen by Juan Biggerstaff in Texas.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And on the report, it listed the serial number for the Glock 10 millimeter.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you would agree on this inventory that a Glock 27 is listed immediately above the Glock 10 millimeter.
Yes, sir.
And ultimately, the jury can make a determination as to whether or not those tie to each other, but you would agree they're right on top of each other, including the serial numbers, in some occasion, almost touching each other.
Yes, sir.
You understood that Mr. Biggerstaff remained a law enforcement officer past June of 2023.
I do not know the date that he separated from his agency.
And ultimately, Juan Biggerstaff has not been arrested in connection with this case, correct?
Yes, sir.
I have a moment with counsel, Your Honor.
Yes.
Thank you, Agent. I don't have any further questions for you.
Redirect.
Do you need this?
Sure, I'll take it, thanks. Agent Stengel, Jimmy Jones was never a suspect or never discussed as a suspect between you and members of a homicide team. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Hill asked you a bunch of questions about some legal issues between the federal system and the state system. You are obviously aware that as a law enforcement officer or a state law enforcement officer or state prosecutor cannot give federal immunity.
Correct.
Mr. Hill asked you a bunch of questions about a police report.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you some follow-up ones. You mentioned in your direct that members of ATF had spoken with John Biggerstaff prior to your interview with John Biggerstaff in November of 2022.
I'm sorry, one more time.
You mentioned other ATF agents in Texas had conducted an interview of Juan Biggerstaff prior to your interview with John Biggerstaff or Mr. Juan Biggerstaff
Yes.
wearing a wire.
Yes.
And those same agents in Texas were the ones that alerted you to this police report in June of 2023.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Hill asked you about some details of that police report, so I want to ask you some clarifications on that. The police report Mr. Juan Biggerstaff filed was not with his own agency. It was with a separate law enforcement agency.
Correct. The Dallas Police Department.
And Mr. Juan Biggerstaff reported that his patrol car and 2 firearms had been taken from his residence.
Correct.
Where did they locate that vehicle?
I believe it was just down the street. It was same street, looked to be maybe a couple blocks down by the numbers.
And on that police report, he specifically gave the serial number of that Glock 10mm as having been stolen from his vehicle. This BBGL770.
Yes.
And he did not contact anyone involved in the Jared Bridegan homicide about this police report or about him writing this serial number on any reports.
That's correct.
You found out because ATF in Texas contacted you because his agency opened an investigation into him.
Yes.
And Mr. Hill asked you that whether Mr. Juan Biggerstaff remained employed at his law enforcement agency after this incident. He did, but he was actually placed on administrative leave pending investigation.
Yes.
And members of ATF, the agents that had previously interviewed him, went and conducted follow-up interviews on this matter.
Yes, they continued to interview him.
And Mr. Juan Biggerstaff, in fact, retained a criminal defense attorney for those interviews.
Yes.
And Mr. Juan Biggerstaff no longer works as a sworn law enforcement officer.
That is my understanding.
FMO.
Yes.
No further questions. Thank you, Agent.
Any follow-up?
Briefly, may I say at defense table?
Okay.
Agent, Juan Biggerstaff did not report that a 10mm Glock 40 Gen 4 was stolen. He reported a Glock 27. Is that correct?
A Glock 27 was stolen, yes.
And a Glock 27 is not a 10mm, correct?
No, sir.
And as far as Mr. Biggerstaff and his employment with the law enforcement agency in Texas, he remained employed until he moved back to Jacksonville. Is that your understanding?
Again, I'm not sure when he separated from his agency.
And as far as when his vehicle was stolen, is it your understanding he reported it to the agency in which the jurisdiction where his home and vehicle were actually located?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so he actually reported it to the correct law enforcement office in the jurisdiction where the vehicle was and where he resided at the time.
I believe, yes, that is true. I think even the responding officers felt like something didn't add up in that.
But again, he reported a crime in the jurisdiction in which the crime occurred.
I'm thinking he did. I don't know the jurisdictional lines of where he lived.
Understood. But Agent, as you sit here, you have no reason to believe he reported it to a jurisdiction outside of where that crime occurred?
That's that's what I would believe.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. May this witness be excused.
Yes, Your Honor, subject to recall.
All right. Agent, do you understand what that means?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. You can step down now. State will call its next witness.
State calls Carlos Phuong.
Carlos Phuong. Mr. Phuong, good afternoon. Come all the way forward.
Your Honor, because of the timing, I had Mr. Phuong come directly from work, so
Okay.
apologize for the dress.
No problem, no problem. All right, raise your right hand to be sworn in.
Sir, do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God. I do.
All right, right this way, okay? Watch your step. There's a slight incline there. All right, you may proceed.
May it please the court. Please introduce yourself to the jury.
I am Carlos Phuong, last name Phuong.
Thanks. It's like you've done this before. What do you do for a living, sir?
Work for ADT as an install tech.
All right, get right to the chase. Do you know a person named Mario Fernandez?
I do.
How do you know him?
Friends from high school.
Do you see him here in court?
I do.
You say where? And you're
All
pointing at the right side of the courtroom? Sitting next to his lawyers?
Yes.
Your Honor, may the record reflect the witnesses identified the defendant.
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor. So you've known him for a long time. I want to turn back to the 2021, 2022 time period. Did you know his wife, Shanna Gardner?
I knew her because they were married. I didn't say I knew her, but I know her by acquaintance.
Did you ever speak to Shanna Gardner outside the defendant's presence?
No, we were always together.
Were you aware of the fact that Shanna Gardner had an ex-husband and children with that ex-husband?
I did.
Please explain to the jury what you learned from Ms. Gardner in Mr. Fernandez's presence about the relationship Ms. Gardner had with her ex-husband.
The relationship was definitely rocky.
Okay.
Your Honor, it's an adoptive admission.
Okay, let me see you at sidebar.
May it please the court.
Yes.
So, Mr. Phuong, going to those conversations that you had with Shanna Gardner and Mario Fernandez in front of you, were you describing for the jury the types of things that Ms. Gardner was complaining about with regard to her child custody?
Just basically the issue they were having with the custody battles that were going back and forth, the family court, things like that.
Well, describe it for the jury, what you remember.
Oh, as far as what she had told me?
Sure.
Oh, okay. She said that they were going through a nasty divorce when I first met her. That, things with her and Jared weren't well. That it wasn't pretty. Mainly because of the child custody.
And did Mario Fernandez seem to go along with the flow, so to speak? Did he complain as much about Jared, or was it mostly Shanna Gardner?
Mainly Shanna. We never actually talked about Jared at all. I've asked him about him, but he never told me this or that. No, it was never brought up.
In those conversations with Ms. Gardner where Mr. Fernandez was present, he would just kind of go along with what Ms. Gardner was saying.
Yeah, he didn't really say anything. It was mainly her talking.
Understood. And so knowing that, then I want to turn your attention a little bit about what your knowledge of Mr. Fernandez was before he met Ms. Gardner. We couldn't hear because of the cut. What was Mr. Fernandez's job before he met Ms. Gardner?
He was in the military.
Okay.
And he had
after military?
Sorry?
After the military?
After the military, just odds and ends jobs. I think he was working at Black Hive for a little bit. He was working at Bruno's. So just, I mean, nothing solid. Yeah.
Do you know when he met Ms. Gardner where he was working?
He was working at Black Hive.
And what was he doing there?
He was doing maintenance, odds and things for the owner.
Okay, is that a gym?
Yes, CrossFit gym.
Okay, and that's where Ms. Gardner was working as a coach as well.
I believe so. I don't know that.
You don't know, that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't want you to speculate. And during the course of the next couple of years, did you know if Mr. Fernandez kept that job at the gym?
On and off. I mean, he'd be doing different things for the owner, but it wasn't like a full-time thing.
Did you know Mr. Fernandez to have any sort of career?
No.
I want to now turn your attention to subsequent to Henry Tenon's arrest. There were a couple of phone calls that you placed to the defendant, Mr. Fernandez. Do you remember those?
Yes, I do.
And you've had the opportunity to look at them, correct? I mean, listen to them.
Yes, in depth, yes.
Did you know you were being recorded?
Oh, absolutely not.
And did, as far as you know, did Mr. Fernandez know he was being recorded?
As far as I know, no.
Okay. I'm going to play the two calls. I think the jury will be able to figure out, just based on your accent, a slight accent, who's who. But I may have to stop you in the middle. The first one, I got to get the numbers. The first one you're going to publish is going to be State's Exhibit 188, which is also referred to as call number 557.
What's up, my man? What the fuck is up, ho? What's up, Tim? Where you been?
Where you been at, cuz? Hey. So,
Yeah.
just checking on you, brother. I mean, what the fuck is going on with Shanna?
Well, I mean, she's across the country right now because they moved out there. Because I told you, right, we separated?
I know. I remember you told me you got separated, but I don't know. Ruthie called me asking me about what happened with Shanna. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? I said, I know they split, but I guess the news is after, I don't know what you saw. I didn't see nothing on the news, but I guess they're saying something about, they think that she might have caused the whole thing about her ex-husband and shit. I'm like, I don't think so, but.
Nah, man. Nah.
I don't know what the story is. I said,
Yeah.
Mario Kart? That's why I look at he's straight. He's just
Yeah, yeah, bro. Like right now. Actually, I'm here in Jax right now because I'm remodeling the room to my rental property. Or I'm remodeling the bathroom.
Right. You talking about your dad's old house? Or you talking about
Yeah, that one. Yep, that one. So
where you staying, dog? Where you at?
So I've been in Kissimmee, man, and
okay.
Yeah, because my brother's down there. So
okay.
I kind of jumped at the opportunity because I had nothing left here in Jax. So I was like, fuck it, might as well go.
Right. So what's she end up doing with the house? She sold it or she just rented it
Yeah,
out?
yeah, we're selling it. No, we're selling it.
Oh.
Yeah.
You still got your Tundra or you got rid of it?
You still got my what?
You still got the Tundra or you got rid of it?
Oh no, I still have that bad boy, bro. Come on.
I'm looking for one myself right now, dog.
Oh yeah, shit.
Yeah. I'm trying to find a TRD Pro.
Okay. Hell yeah.
So, but I want that lunar gray color, that fucking off gray color. That's
Ooh, yeah. So you saw mine, right? Because mine's all white.
I never got a chance to see it because I've been so fucking busy, bro.
Yeah, true.
So, yeah, man. No, just checking on you because I was like, damn, let me check in the nigga. Make sure he didn't get. I don't think.
Nah.
I don't know. I think the news misconstrued a lot of it. I don't think Shanna or you had nothing to do with that bullshit, but.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate that. Like, no joke. So here's the deal, brother. Like, bigger picture, we never said anything from the get-go. So because we didn't say anything, the media pushes whatever they want, however they want it, and that's what's there.
What it was is when Shanna moved, it just made it suspicious. Like, why all of a sudden her ex-husband passes or whatever happened to him, she fucking bitch and goes cross country. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it was like almost a year later.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's been what? It's coming up close to a year later. Yeah.
It's gonna be a year. It's gonna be a year.
Right.
I
know your ass ain't gonna have to do with it because you don't own nothing that motherfucker, dude.
No.
Whatever he is on him.
No, bro.
Between you and I think it's just bad karma, like we said from the get-go when I first talked to you about it.
Yeah,
bad karma for how he treated Shanna and how he treated the kids.
I can't tell you how many times I've had a discussion with like I've just had random discussions with strangers on top of that, with strangers.
Yeah.
And then like, I've had people that knew him when he was like younger,
Mhm.
you know, when he was in like high school or something like that, because he grew up here in Jax or whatever.
Right.
And they were like, I get it. And I was like, get the fuck out of here. Like, now you're coming out and saying some shit, but it's just like, you know, but the other part is a lot of those people, you know, they belong to the church. So like, they don't want to say shit.
Right.
Like,
Right.
fucking, you know, they're not about to air out dirty laundry, whatever.
No.
And like now I'm just, you know, we'll wait to see what the fuck happens. Like,
Right.
no one seems to have anything concrete. Everything is like this and that. Like, I'm just like, all right, cool. Like,
It's just like you always get caught up in this craziest shit, though, between the Army and your personal life.
dog. Bro, my sister literally said the same fucking thing, dog. She was like, how come you have such good luck with the most random things? And she was like, yeah, like you'll go out and you buy something, and then it's just like you'll get a discount, or you'll meet somebody and they know something, and then they have this and they have that, and you have access to all these things, and then it's like, but then other things happen, and I was like, I know exactly what you mean, and I think this is the balance of the universe when it comes to me, bro. Like, I just have to leave shit well alone, so like extremely bad shit doesn't happen. It's fucking ridiculous, dude.
That's stupid, bro. So, hey, but on a real note, on a side note, what are you averaging in your Tundra? 'Cause I know you drive like a fucking madman, so see what you're averaging out of it.
So it does its best on the highway, 100%. Like, I can get close to like 470 miles to a full tank, and this is on standard gas. You know, this is regular 87 pump gas.
Right.
And then around the city to a full tank, about 420 miles.
Yeah. What is your miles per gallon? Like, do you calculate it? Like, about 18,
no, man, I'm like not between 19 to 22.
Let the record show that there's a significant talking about cars, and certainly it's been put into evidence, but I'm going to fast forward it about 7 minutes.
Okay.
From approximately 5 minutes to approximately 12 minutes.
Now I'm starting to also like stretch out his lower back and his legs. I just stretch him out, and like he gets a little, like there's a little bit of pain, but then as soon as I like get him like stretched out, like you could like he's lively, like it all comes back. He's like, oh fuck, I'm ready to move. Like, let's go.
What are you talking about now?
I don't know what we're talking about at that point. I know we jump conversations. I'm so random. So it went from trucks. I don't know where it went to from the trucks to that. I think he was talking about the dog, but I could be wrong.
Sure, go ahead.
I think so, but I can't tell you 100% what that was. That's the only thing I was talking about, stretching out his back and stuff, because Zero was older. He's a good husky-sized dog.
Okay.
So yeah, man, he's doing all right.
Yeah. That's good, man. Yeah, I just want to make sure you're caught with no bullshit with that whole situation. Because Ruth had called me about it. I said, I don't news, but I'll call him. I'll double check on my boy. I'm pretty sure he would have called me if some shit was going to go down.
Yeah, man, I would have told my people here, like, hey, like, you know, but you never know, bro. Like, I had mentioned this, because like last year, someone told, bro, I had people apologizing to me because the way our family got painted, it was like they were looking at Shanna for obvious reasons, and then they're looking at me for obvious reasons. But then on top of that, they were like harping on stuff, and then like people, I had strangers apologize to me for media racism. Like, people were on social media being racist towards me, and I don't watch the news, so I didn't pay attention to it. You know, it's like, I was just like, well, you know, like all I could say was like, well, racism is real. You know, like I live with it. I understand it. What I don't want to happen is some bullshit for whatever reason happens, and then they look at me on just the inclination because I'm fucking Hispanic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden I have to fucking go through this round robin circle of bullshit because okay, well,
the military, yeah.
you fit this profile and stereotype. So fucking now we gotta do shit with you, and it's just like that's the one thing, dude. I haven't talked to Ruth in years, bro.
Yeah, I know.
How's she doing?
Okay, obviously the entire call is played in, but I don't think the state needs to publish any more of that. We'll now go to the second call, and I guess I didn't make it clear, Mr. Phuong asked a question. These calls took place January 24th and January 25th of 2023, approximately.
Yes, sounds about right. Yeah.
We'll now publish State's Exhibit 189.
Oh, hold on, brother. Hey, what's up, man?
You in private?
What's that?
You in private?
Yeah.
So, I guess something broke out today about that whole situation that we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
So, they arrested some guy that used to rent the Northside house.
I know.
I was like, what the? So I guess he thought it was you. Because I think the motive was after you, not her husband, her ex-husband.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Or oh, dude, no way. You think so?
No, but he rented your house, so he must have had some. So you probably didn't pay. You kicked him out, or something like that.
I mean,
remember there's a possibility of that area.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no way though. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I haven't pulled up anything. I haven't read anything.
No, I don't.
You know.
So hold on.
But
I'll give you the gist. Hold on.
Yeah.
So the gist of it is basically who the person they found was.
Mm-hmm.
He stayed at that Northside rental property.
Right.
For you and what's face. So all of a sudden so he's the one that did it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, but the only explanation that I'm gonna have to you, because obviously he's been. It's just weird. I'm just speculating at this point. So I think of he knows where y'all live because everything's public record now. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
So he probably thought that was you, but not realizing who it was. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think if you wait for your console, but they showed a picture of him, older black guy. That's all.
Yeah. And well, here's the thing though. Like he was working for me for a bit, like after it.
Oh, really? For real?
Yeah. Like he helped me. Like that's a fucking 1/4 acre lot, and like he did a lot of fucking work, dude. Like he fucking took down trees and shit and fucking mowed that bitch, and then he did roofing. Like, I don't fucking get it.
So between you and I, you never talked to him about Shanna. You don't know nothing about Shanna's ex-husband, right?
No, like no. Like they're. I'm trying to. I'm honestly trying to remember. Like, I have to like think of like any recollection of
right.
Of any conversations I'm gonna have with the dude, but it's like.
But you wouldn't have any pictures of him or anything like that. You know what I'm saying?
No.
You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't know anything.
Yeah, no,
fuck no. It's just crazy. All of a sudden, they go to blaming Shanna for it, and all of a sudden, next day, literally they broke out saying they arrested somebody for his murder. I'm like, what the fuck is going on with this bullshit? Yeah,
I don't know, dude.
Yeah, but I just wanted to.
Yeah. 100%.
What the fuck is going on, dude? I'm so twisted right now.
Yeah. Like I'm waiting to see how it's gonna turn out because I already have media reaching out to me and stuff, and it's just like there's nothing for me to say right now because there's nothing for me to say. No, I'm not going to.
You have no
motive, dude. No, fuck no, bro. Like, it's just another day in the shit show, dude.
Yeah, I'm just give me a heads up, because they're gonna come, because all the way they're portraying, they say like, okay, this guy used to stay at your house. Either he was one or two things. Either either they're gonna say like he was mad at you because he left the house and he couldn't afford it no more and you kicked him out, or they're saying that because you housed him that you had him to do it. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, yeah, and that was actually like, because I remember it was like, bro, it was like October or maybe before that. Because, after COVID and everything else, this was a fucking shit show. Dude, actually, yeah, it was after COVID that everything was a shit show. And, like, I was working with him to, like, all right, well, if you don't have rent right away, like, just you can pay, like, week by week kind of deal. But you got to make it up. And then I want to say it was either September or October time frame. It's so fucking long ago now that he flat out told me, he's like, I can't fucking afford it anymore. He just couldn't.
So he just left. Yeah.
Yeah. And, well, the thing was, I told him, I was like, well, how about, what can you afford? And like the dude was like scrapping up like 300. And then I told him, I was like, if this is where you're at, I can give you till December. And after December, like that's it. And the thing was, like, I had a new tenant come in January.
Right.
So
I said, there's no disagreement between y'all.
No.
So
No. That's what I'm saying. Like I helped the dude out, and then after that, like I remember for like all the shit that he did for the place and everything else, I remember reaching out to him. I was like, hey man, you want to fucking knock out some mark and make some money? Because every estimate I was getting, dude, bro, just to do, like somebody gave me an estimate for a single tree, and it was like $3,000, and I was like, yeah, no. Go fuck off, dude. No fucking way. You know what I mean? So I was like, hey, you want to fucking knock off some branches and fucking plow this bitch to the ground? And that's what he fucking did.
But you got rid of that property now, didn't you?
Yeah, I fucking sold it.
Right. Yeah, you got to do that, dude.
Yeah, I had to do what I had to fucking do. So, oh man, yeah, I'm waiting because, yeah, that way we can see what the fuck's gonna happen.
Just before, yeah. Just keep your eyes peeled, dog, because them motherfuckers are fucking vultures. All the motherfuckers are.
Oh, dude, 100%, man. This shit's gonna like.
I mean, they following Shanna all the way in fucking Washington State. They talking about they saw her get out of the grocery store and shit. I'm like, what the fuck? Like they for sure they're gonna follow your ass too. So just, keep your eyes peeled.
Oh, 100. Yeah. Oh, I know. I know. Like, I'm not the one though.
I'm saying. Yeah. I know, but the way they're portraying it, as of right now, they're not going to say nothing, but they're going to dig farther. I don't think.
Oh, yeah, they're going to
already.
Yeah, they're going to paint it however they're going to want to paint it, and then obviously it comes down to whatever the fuck, is said afterwards. So.
Exactly. Yeah, because from what I didn't dig too far. I just saw it sitting in my van eating lunch. What the fuck? Let me just give me a heads up real quick.
Yeah, dude.
It's just the whole thing is just funny. Because from the outside perspective looking in, that's the way I would see it. It's nobody knew you.
It's a 50-50 swing looking at it that way. But the other part is it's actually not even. It's more like a three-way split, because then it was there's this guy, then there's me, then there's Shanna, and then I unless somehow the widow fucking is tied to this man somehow, like I don't fucking know.
I think old girl, his family is digging. They're one man.
Oh, I bet, but it's not because they're interested in what happened to the guy. They just want to do it out of spite.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Ah, fuck. Here we go.
Crazy. All right, let me get back to.
Yeah.
Just want to give you a heads up on that.
Yeah, I'm about to head out and fucking get back to work too. But all right, bro. Thank you.
All right, buddy.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, man. Bye.
Thank you. That's all the questions I have.
All right, thank you. Cross-examination.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hey, how's it going? Good. Oh, sorry.
You and Mr. Fernandez are friends, correct?
Yes.
State asked you didn't know you were being recorded?
Nope.
He didn't know he was being recorded?
I'm sure he would have said something.
I know it's obvious, but you called him. He didn't call you, right?
Correct.
And it was because you heard some stuff about the media, right?
Right.
Would you agree that most of what you were talking about was what the media was reporting, you were telling him, and then he was responding what he had heard through the media?
Correct.
Okay. And did you think that he made any admissions to you?
No.
Did he seem different on that phone call than he had seemed any time before?
No. We're normal.
In the first call, you start talking about that the media is reporting something with Shanna, the wife, right?
Right.
He tells you they had separated. That was true, correct?
Correct.
He tells you that she moved across the country. That's true, correct?
Correct.
Did he seem concerned that you were asking him about this?
No, because he would have told me out, like, what, it's not your problem.
Right.
And just Mario's that type of guy, yeah.
And he chatted with you to the extent that he knew anything, right?
Correct.
And then he started talking about like Toyota Tundras, right?
We talk about trucks. That's all we talk about is trucks outside of life, but yeah, trucks a lot.
On that whole call, I mean, the state decided to fast forward, and it's their evidence and their direct examination. They can do whatever they want. But there's like 7 or 8 minutes where you guys are just talking about you wanting to buy a Toyota Tundra and him owning a Toyota Tundra and gas mileage and modifications and friends of yours that were in the military. You guys were talking about all sorts of stuff, right?
Correct.
Okay. And never one time did you feel like he admitted anything to the participation in the death of Jared Bridegan, correct?
Correct.
Before I get to the second call. Oh, and Mr. Fernandez owned dogs?
Yes, he had one.
One big dog?
Yeah.
And he was a little older, right?
Yeah, 0, 6, 10, maybe 11 at that time.
And at one point on the call, you guys were just talking about how that dog was doing, right?
Yeah, because I know I hung out with the dog. I knew the dog well, and as they get older, a bigger dog, they get stiff and arthritis and things like that.
Okay. And Mr. Mizrahi started saying that while you were friends, there were times or a time where you were around Ms. Gardner where she was griping about the co-parenting issues she was having with Jared Bridegan. Do I understand that correctly?
Correct.
But do I also understand that Mr. Fernandez never talked to you about that?
I never cared to know his side of the story. I never asked.
And he didn't seem to really care, right?
To my opinion, no.
I mean, he wasn't, in fact, you specifically said, he didn't jump into the conversation and start dogging Jared Bridegan, right?
No.
He just sat there and listened to his current wife griping about her ex-husband. Do I understand that correctly?
Correct.
You think that's unusual that an ex-wife gripes about her ex-husband? Or excuse me, a wife gripes about her ex-husband?
Depending on how bad a divorce was, yes.
And she told you it was bad, right?
She did.
Okay. She didn't hide that from you, right?
Nope.
Okay. So then there's a second call the next day. You had learned through the media that Henry Tenon had been arrested?
Correct.
And then you called Mr. Fernandez and you asked him, they're saying that guy used to live in one of your properties, right?
Correct.
Did he deny that to you?
No.
Was he like, I don't know this guy?
No.
Was he like, did he try to distance himself from Mr. Tenon?
No.
In fact, he told you that Mr. Tenon did work for him after the homicide, correct?
Correct.
You had no idea that you were being recorded, right?
No clue at all.
Mr. Fernandez, to your estimation, had no idea he was being recorded, correct?
Correct.
And he just happened, and this phone conversation is about 11 months after the homicide, correct?
Yes, the time frame, yeah, sounds about right.
And he just happens to tell you, man, this guy did some landscaping for me, right?
Correct.
Did you know that the checks, there's 3 checks in this case, that Mr. Fernandez wrote to Mr. Tenon? The memo line of one of the checks is landscaping. Did you know that?
I saw it on social media, but he didn't tell me exclusively, no.
But he did tell you that he did landscaping work.
Correct. Correct.
So 11, many, many months. The checks were written in March after the homicide. He told you he did work for him after the homicide, correct?
Correct.
And then he told you that he did roof work. in the call, correct?
Correct.
Did you know that the checks that are in evidence that the jury will see in this case are for roofing?
I didn't know.
Right. But that would be consistent with what Mr. Fernandez told you, wouldn't it?
Correct.
In a call that he didn't know he was being recorded on, right?
That's correct.
You said Mr. Fernandez didn't have much of a career, but Mr. Fernandez did own rental properties, right?
Correct.
And he worked on those rental properties, right?
All the time.
And in fact, on the very first call, he told you, I'm doing tile work right now, and you could hear the scraping. He apologized for the scraping because he was talking and working, right?
Correct.
It's no secret that Shanna Gardner's family was extremely wealthy, correct?
I honestly did not know that until all this came out.
Okay.
I didn't have a clue.
So while Mr. Fernandez was married to Shanna Gardner, he lived a pretty comfortable life. Is that fair to say?
Well, 100%, yeah.
Okay. But he didn't brag about it or talk about it, or it didn't change the same guy that you knew from high school?
Not at all.
And you're still friends with Mr. Fernandez to the extent that you can be, right?
Yes.
And the second call, did he seem overly worried to you?
No, stressed maybe, but not worried.
Because the media was talking about his involvement because Mr. Tenon used to live at one of his rental properties, right?
Correct.
Did he seem evasive?
No, definitely not.
Like he was hiding anything?
No.
He was candid about knowing Mr. Tenon?
Say that question
He
one
was
more time.
candid. He was open with
Yes.
you and saying, yeah, I know this guy.
Correct.
Did he tell you I had nothing to do with it?
Correct.
And at the end, when he's saying like there's 3 people involved, it could go 3 ways, he was talking about how the media was portraying it, right?
That's correct. Yep.
Not that he was involved, him, Shanna Gardner, and Henry Tenon. That's not what he was telling you, right?
No.
And that's not what you're telling this jury.
Correct.
May I have a moment, Your Honor?
Yes.
He also did tell you, I'm trying to remember, because it had been a long time, he didn't remember like every detail, right?
Right.
So if he didn't tell you every detail about his relationship with Mr. Tenon, it was just, he admitted, he's like, I'm trying to think back to my conversations with the guy, right?
Correct.
I guess this is obvious, but during the time that Shanna Gardner was talking and griping, and Mr. Fernandez was there, you never heard anybody threaten Jared Bridegan, correct?
No.
You never heard anybody trying to plan his murder, correct?
No.
Nobody ever asked you to provide a firearm in connection to this murder.
Absolutely not.
Mr. Fernandez never asked to change cars with you, or he never asked you in any way to participate or cover for him in this homicide.
No.
And lastly, when you said, hey, where are you at, man? He told you, I'm in Kissimmee, Florida, right?
Correct.
Where does his brother live?
Kissimmee.
That add up?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And he was still working on another rental property that he owned at the time because he had sold Potomac?
Correct.
Because Mr. Fernandez owned more than one rental property, right?
Correct.
And before he met Miss Gardner, he had rental properties, correct?
He did.
So it's not some like miraculous gift that he got because he managed Jared Gardner. That was kind of the business he was in.
Correct.
And then he supplemented his income by working at gyms or doing handyman work and things like that.
Correct.
Thank you very much, Mr. Phuong.
Thank you. Mr. Mizrahi?
Police court. So those rental properties, you know about 2 of them, right?
Yeah. Yes, correct.
One is White Horse, which is in the Sandwood area, which used to be the defendant's parents.
Correct.
And the other is the Potomac downtown.
Oh, but I've never been there. I'm assuming. Correct. Yeah.
That's the one that Mr. Tenon was like.
From what he's telling me, yes,
The
sir.
one he was telling. I understand.
Yeah.
Do you know what the income was from those homes?
I have no clue.
It wasn't like, they weren't like multi-family dwellings with like dozens and dozens of tenants.
No, there were single homes.
There were single homes with one or two bedrooms.
Correct.
And certainly he had to supplement his income by doing other hustle work, correct?
Let me ask that question again.
He had to supplement his income, not only was he not to support.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. He had come up, side jobs, things like that.
So, Mr. Dreister asked you about the checks, the landscaping, and for roofing.
Right.
In the call, you would agree that the call speaks for itself.
Correct.
Is there any hidden language that y'all are speaking or anything like that?
No, definitely not.
So in the call, the defendant said that there was no way he was going to pay $3,000 to remove the tree. Remember that?
Correct.
That's all the question.
May the witness be excused.
The witness may be excused.
Thank you, Mr. Phuong.
Thank you.
All right, members of the jury, we're going to take a short recess, okay? Leave your notepads on your chair. We'll come back.
Well, I'm still alive. It seems like.
Say 3:45, okay? Please let the record reflect that the jury's left the courtroom. The court's in recess until 3:45.